to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We will now have the roll call by the clerk.
Councilmember Archibald?
Here.
Councilmember Huron? Councilmember Lamb?
Here.
Councilmember Mosrek?
Here.
Councilmember Payton?
Here.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Here.
Mayor Ashford?
Present. Council members, you have before you the minutes of March 10, 2025. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald and supported by Councilmember Mosrek. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrek?
Yes.
Councilmember Payton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Now we will move on to presentation.
Proclamation recognizing the month of March as National Social Worker Month.
Okay, at this time, Sarah Dombrowski from the St. Clair County Mental Health, will you join me at the podium, please? Borrowed yours, okay. Okay, on behalf of the City of Port Huron, Sarah, we'd like to present you with this proclamation. And it says, whereas people have entered the social work profession for generations because they genuinely care about helping improve the welfare of people, families, communities, and our nation. And whereas this year's Social Work Month theme is Social Work Compassion Action, embodies the fact that social workers go through years of education and training so they have the skills and experience to transform their care for others into action, bringing positive results. And whereas the social work profession is one of the fastest growing professions in the United States, with more than 800,000 people expected to be employed as social workers by 2033. And whereas social workers work in all parts of our society, including schools, social service agencies, veteran centers, and government, helping people, families, and communities secure services and policies they need to thrive. And whereas social workers are at the forefront of pressing issues our nation is addressing, including increased need for mental health care, especially for children and adolescents, substance use disorder treatment, and increased economic and political divisions. And whereas social workers are one of the largest groups of mental health care providers in the United States and are pressing for a social work and interstate licensing compact flat will improve mental health care delivery in our nation. And whereas social workers help protect millions of children from abuse and neglect, provide services and support that help strengthen families that are under stress and help create new families through adoption. And whereas research proves that presence of social workers in schools, hospitals, and assisted living facilities improves education and health outcomes and quality of life for students, patients, and residents. Now, therefore, I, Anita R. Ashford, by the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Port Huron, and on behalf of the council member Archibald, Huron, Lamb, Mosrek, Payton, and Pemberton, do hereby proclaim March 2025 to be National Social Work Month. Why don't you give her a round of applause right at this point? In the city of Port Huron, for the numerous contributions made by American social workers, and call upon all citizens to support the social work profession. In witness whereof, I do hereby set my hand and cause the corporate seal of the city of Port Huron to be affixed this 24th day of March 2025. presenting that to you. And would you like to have a few words, Sarah?
No, I mean, I'm proud to be a social worker, and I thank you guys for taking time to, recognize us in the month of March, and I'll be back next year.
Thank you. Now we have reached the time that we're going to go into our public comment here. And if anyone in the audience wishing to address the City Council on any agenda item or any matter under the city's jurisdiction, now is the time to do so. And I also like to insert right here, oftentimes people say we don't answer back, and we don't go back and forth because we want to stay on point with our agenda to get through it, because a lot of people are watching at home and such, but it's not that we won't answer it. You know, if there is something really pressing, we will take the time after the meeting to address that. We have our department heads over here that certainly will oblige you, and we have our city manager and our council members up here also at your pleasure. So with that, if you do choose to come up and have some words to say, you are allotted 1 4-minute opportunity to make your comments, and please begin by stating your name and then your address. Thank you. Is there anyone here wishing to address the council at this time?
Randy, R-A-N-D-Y, Grosser, G-R-O-S-S-E-R. Address 2420 10th Street, Port Huron, Michigan 48060. I'd like to have a first moment of congratulations for not only that individual, but for the council as well. It seems like from the last month's meeting of the walkout and then thereafterwards of a resolution and coming together as a board, it's very apparent, very transparent. Not only that, but also the security forces or law enforcement that you have present as well. It appears that from last meeting while I was here, either through my TMJ or through the dislocation of either cartilage in my jaw, it does make a pain to speak in public or just speak in general. So I'd like to offer congratulations for having an officer or officers on site, even though one did appear in a corner. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see it, but in the corner, ready to react, I guess, for any circumstances that deem notable or noticeable for conducting an orderly conduct or maintain an order with a blunt force object in his possession. So apparently this council is very keen on making sure that security is number one to ensure public safety as well. So I'd like to congratulate this council and that individual and the officer on site from last month's meeting. Any remaining time I have, I do yield it back to the council.
Okay, thank you so very much for your comments. Is there anyone else out in the audience wishing to address the City Council this evening? Hearing and seeing none.
Sure.
Yeah, Representative Pavlak. Great seeing you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Joe Pavlo. I live at 350 Scott Road, Smith Creek. And I've been asked to come here today on a kind of a serious note, so I'm going to share some information with you. By the way, I represent you in the 64th District House of Representatives, and I want to thank you for electing me. I've been in office 3 months now, and I'm meeting lots and lots of really good people that in a district that I would never have met before. I need to mention that while I was door knocking on my campaign, I saw lots of signs that said "Justice for Josh," and because of that, I found out who Josh was and about his passing. My sympathy went out especially to the parents. Now, I say sympathy and not empathy because I too have lost a child. My wife Marilyn and I have lost our beautiful daughter Jennifer. Dr. Jennifer Marie Pavlo Askew It'll be 4 months on June 20th. She was the mother of 7 children. So I know the pain and the heartache, and I know that it never goes away. So I've been asked to write legislation to help to keep this from happening to others. To die of situational asphyxiation is a terrible thing. And as a new lawmaker, this may be the first bill that I get passed, and I hope to call it Josh's Law. And could I just ask Josh's parents, and I just met his grandparents too, and I know them, so could I get them to stand, please? Grandparents too. Thank you for coming. This is the first time that I met them this evening, but I want to tell you, it is an honor for me to do this for him and for the parents, and I might add the grandparents also at this point. And I want you to know that I've been praying for you, and I will continue to pray for you. I might add also that there's an additional level of comfort, and I would like to introduce to you Sarah Mall. And Sarah is one of the founders of Blue Water Hope, and I understand you've already met the parents or the grandparents, but I would recommend that you keep in touch. I'm going to be speaking at their banquet on May 10th. So hopefully by then I'll have some information on this bill, but it's just at the idea stage right now. But it is going to be probably the most important bill that I write, the way I look at it. So with that, I will end and let you know that I am praying for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend. And now we will go hear from the city manager. Number F, please.
Accepting the quote from Union Properties LLC in the amount of $23,450 for the installation of new siding and windows at the Thomas Edison Depot Museum.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Support.
Moved by Councilmember Pemberton and supported by Councilmember Moserack. Is there any discussion on from the city manager?
Madam Mayor,
Okay, yes.
this is about 600 square feet replacement. We couldn't get anyone to bid on it. We actually sought 3 quotes. We couldn't get anyone to even turn in a bid, so we sought Union Properties out several times, and they provide us what we believe is a reasonable bid. It is rotting and deteriorating. It's on the south side, just where the sun doesn't hit it, so it's rotting.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And so that's part for the course, the range that we really
Yep.
fall into?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so any more discussion? Hearing and seeing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Moserack?
Yes.
Councilmember Payton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. From the city manager, too?
Accepting the bid from Watson Brothers Service Company in the amount of $136,220 for the dehumidification unit replacement at the water filtration plant.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald and supported by Councilmember Lamb. Is there any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
this humidifier was installed in 1999. We've had numerous repairs and breakdowns with it. Because of its age, it's been recommended to be replaced. It removes about 480 gallons of water a day from the filtration plant. If we did not remove that water, we'd have corrosion issues and rotting issues within the plant. It is not a budget item in this budget year. It'll be a budget item in your July 1 budget. But however, this takes 20-week lead time, so by the time we order it and arrive, it'll arrive in July, but this will be budgeted in your next budget.
Oh, okay, thank you. And so, city manager, so this had experienced a breakdown, right?
Numerous
Numerous
breakdowns.
breakdowns.
Yep.
So it's at the point now we can't do anything else, so it's a must.
Correct. In fact, to be quite frank, we're hoping it holds out 20 weeks so we get a new one.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay. Any more discussion or anything on this one? Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Moserack?
Yes.
Councilmember Payton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. From the city manager, number 3.
Accepting the sole source quote from Inacorp LTD in the amount of $41,789 for the purchase of a simulated impaired driving experience cart for use by the police department.
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Moserack. Is there a
Support.
second? Supported by Councilmember Lamb. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor and Council, I
Yes.
just point out that this is a grant funded, this is not coming out of general fund or any taxpayer money.
Okay. That's always good to hear, not no taxpayers' money. Keep our bankroll fat. Okay, so hearing no discussion other than the city manager, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Now we will be at resolutions, resolution number 1.
Authorizing the Director of Public Works to commit and purchase salt through the State of Michigan My Deal Extended Purchasing Program for 2025-26 season.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Councilmember Pemberton and second by
Support?
Councilmember Mosrak. Is there any discussion on this one? Okay. Do you have anything to add, Mayor? I mean. Guess you caught that, didn't you? Okay. Boy, that was dry humor. Okay.
We're good.
Okay. So hearing and seeing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Resolution number 2.
Authorizing acceptance of the Michigan Commission of Law Enforcement Standards grant in the amount of $100,000 to support implementation of programs that enhance public safety and community involvement.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mayor Pro Tem. Is there a second?
Support.
Supported by Councilmember Pemberton. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I would like Chief Kerrigan to speak to this,
Oh, sure.
since he's back there ready for anything.
Okay, I thought he was asleep. He's reared back in that chair. I think he was really meditating.
Yeah, so this is just a $100,000 grant through the MCOs for community engagement, relationship building. We can expend the funds over the next 2 years, so they're not 100% spoken for, but the previous from the city manager is where those funds are initially being spent.
Oh, okay. Are there any inquiries or any questions from the council? I have some. So this is for the engagement of the community
Yeah.
itself? Okay, is this going to go like for existing programs you already have, or is there something new that's going to be created?
We're still working on some of the different ideas, so
So it's kind of open,
you'll
you're saying?
be engaging, trying to maybe get equipment for longer lasting engagement versus just doing 1 or 2 things. Kind of like the simulated driving cart, we already do some of those fatal vision goggles. So this will enhance that program that we'll be able to continue to do for years to come with this fund.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Chief?
Yep.
Okay, so no one else has anything to say? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Resolution 3, please.
Approving the reappointments of Bob Epley and Carissa Kramer to the McMorran Place Commission for terms to expire April 1st, 2029.
Okay, entertain a motion.
So moved.
So moved by Councilmember Pemberton and supported by Councilmember Lamb. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Resolution number 4.
Confirming the mayor's appointment of Leslie Bender Jutsi to the Planning Commission for a term to expire August 11th, 2027.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Councilmember Pemberton and second
Support.
by Councilmember Mosrak. Is there any discussion?
Mayor Ashford,
Yes.
I know I reached out, I'm still looking for further clarification on the criteria used to
understand this decision on, we've had 3 applicants that all meet the qualifications, all applied several months ago, one over a year ago, who was actually a certified planning commissioner. So I'd like to know what makes this particular applicant qualified, that an application that came in on Friday would supersede those 3 that have been waiting for a seat.
Oh, okay. Actually, I think the other applications, they just come in, and I know the clerk could check me, they just come in periodically, whatever, there's no set date or anything, so that answered that one. And then when they do come in, she sends them to me, and I go over all of them. And all the candidates were good candidates, but it was a mayor's appointment, in my opinion, and my experience with that. I thought that the candidate would bring a different perspective. You know, her background, she was actually qualified also. They all were. It's just that I had to just decide on one that I thought could have the greatest impact, you know, in the planning commission. So that's why I did that. And every time I select someone, I always send an explanation as to why that person was. So further clarification, I did send you an explanation as to why she was. So I just don't just, you know, haphazardly do it because of this or that. It has to be a qualified applicant.
Mayor Ashford. So in reviewing, I reached out to the city clerk as well and asked for the applications because it was unusual to see this on the agenda, and we had never seen the application. Usually, like you said, sometimes you sit for a while until there's a vacancy.
I believe they
and
sit
thing.
for a while. Yeah, I think so.
But in this case, this was added to the agenda today,
Today.
yeah, or over the weekend anyway. It wasn't on the Thursday agenda
No, it wasn't.
when I received the Thursday agenda. So as Mayor Pro Tem said, you know, you had Tyler Moldovan submitted his application January of last year. Former Mayor Pauline Rep submitted an application in November. And then Jacob Orr submitted his application on January 9th. As was pointed out, Ms. Bender, I think it was Friday that hers was submitted. I reached out to all the applicants, to the 3 original applicants, and both Tyler Moldovan and former Mayor Rep said that they reached out to you and attempted to contact you about this open seat and did not receive contact back.
Excuse me, just nobody contacted me for anything. The only contact I got was from the clerk when she sent them to me.
Okay, I can only share, Mr. Moldovan also emailed us prior to this, just the beginning of this meeting. I know he had to work this evening. You know, I'm concerned because I guess I'm just curious. It would seem from the timing of this that you received these 3 applicants and then contacted someone else to come apply and fill the vacancy. Is that, I guess I'm asking, is that how this went down, or?
Well, I don't know how it went down or went up, but I'm just saying all of them were qualified or whatever. We have no time limit on when we receive them.
Sure.
Or when we receive that. And so we don't need to try to make a case for that to have any appearance of anything. It's just that the young lady, Dr. Bender, was qualified. She'd bring a new perspective, her professionalism, and it's not that she couldn't do it, but she would be more impacting in that position.
If I may ask, how so? I have no problem with Dr. Bender. I don't really know her. Again, Mr. Moldovan is probably the most passionate person about planning that I've ever met. No offense, Mr. Haynes. But I guess I'm curious. The 2 questions I have. One, is the situation that I described what happened? Did you get these 3 applicants, decide not to pursue any of these applicants, and ask Dr. Bender to apply?
No.
So it's fine, I just want to understand.
No, I don't know what you want to understand, but I'm telling you that when we get the applications, they come in, it's a process. We do it all the time up here, and they don't have any time limit to what they have to have it in by that time or whatever. But when you talk about Tyler, I have actually called him also to see if he wanted to apply for it, and he did. Okay? And Dr. Bender, if she wanted to apply for it, it's open. It was open, a vacancy, and it was mayor's discretion. So what is your real problem?
Well, my problem is, it appears that there are three candidates
Yeah.
that were all more than qualified.
Yep.
Multiple candidates, including Mr. Moldovan, by his own admission, said that he saw you at an event and left you a message and did not have a call returned in regards to the planning commission. Former Mayor Rep said the same thing. She saw you at an event and said she was interested in being on the planning commission because she wanted to serve the city. She said she left you 2 messages, neither of which were returned. It seems that these 3 candidates were passed over for another candidate that was not in the original list.
Excuse me, I don't want to keep, we don't have an original list, we just have people that put in their applications, and you review them. I reviewed them. And I couldn't review them if the clerk
Can we ask the
had
city,
So, excuse me.
Mayor Ashford, may I? May I interject?
Just a minute, yes.
You're all right with now?
Actually, we should hear from the city clerk before.
Sure.
I was going to ask the
I
city
believe
clerk.
Councilmember
excuse me.
Pemberton gets to finish.
Excuse me, okay, only one person's going to speak up here, and I'm recognizing you to speak.
So when I receive any applications for any positions on any of the boards and commissions, they are usually in the same day immediately forwarded to everybody, so that you do have a copy of that. With the planning commission vacancy, I did go back 5 years, and that's where I came up with those original 3 applications, which I shared with Mayor Ashford. And that was last Friday for that.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Payton?
Respectfully, I didn't know if you were finished or not, so.
Oh, no, I just want to make sure I was finished. What did you?
I'm wondering if, and forgive me for not knowing this, is it possible, since Dr. Bender is here, is she able to speak on her behalf since Councilmember Pemberton isn't familiar with her? Is she able to speak to her own?
I'm going to ask Corporation Counsel that because it's an appointment and nobody else is here from, Tyler, the rest, and my MO is being a fair person.
Yeah, no, you have the right as the
Chair.
chair of the meeting to recognize anyone from the audience if you want to. Bring them up here, even though it's past public comment, you can bring someone up and ask them questions as well.
Oh,
So
okay.
you do have that right.
Okay, so with that, Dr. Bender?
Mayor Ashford, before we do that, could I ask for clarification from the city clerk?
Yeah.
You said you provided her with 3, did I hear that correctly?
Correct.
3 on Friday morning, but now we have 4.
Correct. 4th one came in on Friday afternoon.
Right, okay,
And then that was forwarded to all of you on Friday afternoon.
okay. Dr. Bender, would you mind coming forward?
Madam Mayor, council members, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to answer any questions you might have for me. Okay, well, I could start out then with perhaps some of my experience, if that would be helpful. So there's been a question about my credentials for this type of position. It might be helpful to go back a little with my resume. So I have been a manager at the 8th largest city in the country. I have also been a developer, developing 6,000 acres in 4 contiguous cities, working with their council and planning commissioners on going ahead and legislating to ensure that that type of development was developed in accordance with each city, but also maintaining our particular style as a development. I've helped councils mostly in the states of Michigan, Illinois, and Texas on developments, and I also help developers in my spare time. Right now, for example, I am working on a development with the church. It's historically African American community church. It was burned down a couple of years ago. They had some issues, and they brought me in to help them get their development on track. They just hired their architect, and we look to see walls go up hopefully this summer. So those are the types of things that I do. In terms of my education, I have a law degree and have worked for Fortune 200 companies in the United States, served as counsel to North American operations, have also worked to promote planning and development between the United States and the country of Mexico. Also have worked with the German consulate in development and promotion of development between the U.S. and Germany, and and also Hungary. So if there are any other questions, I'm happy to answer them.
And could you tell us your ties with Port Huron? I mean, it's just
Sure.
not like you just
So,
showed up off the, you know.
No, my dad worked at Prestolite Wiring Company. My mom was a former city planning commissioner here for the city of Port Huron. My dad was on the St. Clair County Commissioners. He was on the commission there as well. And I went to high school at SC4. I went to MSU for an international relations degree. So a lot of strong ties to the state of Michigan, a lot of relatives here, and we're living here and we love it, so.
Okay.
Good enough for me.
Okay, we got it. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for
the mayor.
Mayor Ashford?
Chair's recognizing Councilmember
Thank
Pemberton.
you.
And
Dr. Bender, thank you for coming to the podium tonight. I want to be clear, there was no question from me of your qualifications.
Thank you.
There was
Thank
no
you.
questions prior to you coming up. That was not my question. At no point did I ask about whether or not you were qualified.
Thank you.
My only issue with this scenario is how it seems to be that other qualified members were passed over, and you were requested at the mayor's request to come apply for a position that other folks have applied for and volunteered to become a part of for, in one case, over a year, in another case, over a months previous. So I was trying to understand clarity on how that happened.
Well, I should take issue with your depiction of how things happened. Actually, when the certain commissions opened last year, the mayor asked me and several other folks from the south side to consider putting their names in the hats. And we have been sort of keeping tabs on when commission and advisory committee appointments are available. And so this past week, I went through and kind of looked at what was available. I actually am up for an appointment to the Neighborhood Improvement Authority as well. And so I kind of was looking at, ooh, these are open, so I'm going to try. So that's it. You may recall that I also applied to be a council candidate as well. So I feel that it's my responsibility as a person to be a productive citizen and to help the community. So if I don't like what I see, I don't complain about it. I try to provide solutions and be a part of the solution.
Okay. So we got to.
Mayor Ashford, same. Along the same lines, by no means, and I applaud you for putting your hat in the ring for a multitude of different things and wanting to be involved. I am not questioning your qualifications at all, I agree, but in your words, all four were equally qualified. So my question comes back to someone who's been on the list and waiting and waiting and waiting for the seat for over a year that is equally qualified, and we're just going to say no for something that came in after you were given the first three names for an appointment. What is our justification for telling this particular individual who's been patiently waiting, you're qualified, but we don't want you, somebody came in after the fact, when we can't say he's not qualified?
So my, is that, if
It's
that
just a
was directed
statement.
to me, then I would say, I think that my
was not.
qualification. Oh, sorry.
No offense, I mean, it wasn't, that's just I want you to understand what my concern is. By no means do I think you're not qualified. You are absolutely qualified. I think you'd be a great addition. However, I can't support passing over somebody who's been waiting a year.
Okay. Well, they really don't wait a year because they don't have a position per se. One of the four applicants, I have already appointed him to the Brownfield board. So there's nobody being passed over, everybody's considered, and that's why we have on the application all the different boards that you are interested in, because they have the privilege to go, to choose whatever. If something comes open, we know that we can pick from that, and show that they were interested. So that's it. So nobody was thrown over anything. Everything, the priority given here was what was best in my knowledge that was presented to me through your application, that it did fit, and it fits what we need here for the city of Port Huron to serve on that commission.
Well, thank you so much, and I would say that because of my broad reach in terms of my planning and development experience, I don't know about the other candidates, but I'm happy to leverage that on behalf of the city of Port Huron. As you can imagine, when you work all over the place, you do have relationships, not just, in the state of Michigan, but in other places. You might know of folks that are excited, for example, to come to the state of Michigan. So anything I can do to help the city, I'm happy to do.
Well, I hope we're happy to have you. We need that kind of expertise and just, frankly, it's refreshing. So, thank you.
Mayor Ashford.
Yes, Councilmember Pemberton?
I see Mr. Moldovan has run in the door here. Would it be appropriate to have him come to the podium as well? I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah, I know it's up to me. I was just thinking about what we're trying to prove here. I'm
Again-
not trying to make another appointment. It was a mayor's appointment, and I appointed the young lady.
Yes,
And
and-
I have talked to his mailbox was full, but I did send Tyler email, a text. I think it was an email text or something.
I do appreciate that it is a mayor's appointment. I will be voting no on this appointment because I don't, this situation does not seem like it went transparently the way it should. And it is your appointment with council vote, so my vote will be no on this.
Oh, okay, well, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Mayor Ashford,
Okay.
if I may?
Yes.
I find the level of hypocrisy staggering here because you were not transparent when you looked over the candidates for the open seat on council. And I can tell you, the phone call, with all due respect, Bob, was placed to me. I was told that Terry was already on board, Sherry was already on board, and they had already made a decision before they actually heard from the other people that wanted to be heard for that open seat. So the level of hypocrisy right now is unacceptable.
Mayor Ashford, if I may? Mayor Ashford?
Yes,
if I may?
Councilmember Pemberton?
I make no apologies for calling other council members individually and asking them about a mysterious appointment that was happening. And I make no apologies for calling the original applicants that, again, had applied some over a year ago for this position. And so there's nothing non-transparent going on here. That's why I'm bringing this conversation out into the open. Yes, I did call other council members, including yourself, Barbara, and asked if you knew about this appointment, if you plan to support this appointment, because that is our job. We are meant to govern together as a council. This is a city council, city manager form of government, and we are meant to cohesively work together. That is how this should work. And so by all means, out of respect for the applicants that have, again, waited some months and some over a year, and not received, by their own admission, not received callbacks from our mayor for this position, and then the next day after being given the list, a new applicant appears and is being appointed on 2-3 days later. Yeah, I had questions, and so I called folks. And so that's what we're doing here, is having a transparent conversation about it. I've asked multiple times for clarity, and the question's been obfuscated. So there's no hypocrisy going on here. I had a very open conversation with all of you.
You didn't have none with me.
No, I'm having that here now.
Okay, I know it, but if you wanted to do it, I would have been with the regular group when you did it before. I mean, I would.
Mayor Ashford, with all due
Yeah.
respect, I've asked you to meet for multiple weeks in a row, and you will not meet with me. You have yet to meet with me.
Oh, yeah, well, the issue you wanted me
You
to.
can-
Yeah, I did. Did I answer you?
No,
Did I answer you by text?
No,
And
ma'am.
I did. You said, thank you very much. Yeah, I did. I did, Jeff.
I asked you, is there, are we going to be able to meet? And you said, we will meet, and nothing has happened since then.
I sent you all one that you didn't meet, okay. All right. All right, so where this is, all right. So where this is, are you, call for the question? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Mosrek?
No.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
No.
Councilmember Archibald?
No.
Councilmember Lamb?
No.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. The motion has failed, and what happens now is it's still a mayor appointment, and so I'll have to come back with someone else, whether they've been waiting 2 years or since the historic age is still going to be the person I select. Okay, so thank you, and thank you very much, Dr. Bender, for coming for us, because you are a class act. Thank you. Okay, we will move on now to the ordinance.
First reading, an ordinance to amend Chapter 12 Businesses of the Port Huron Code of Ordinances for the purpose of adding Article 14, an article to establish training standards for certain security personnel. This ordinance shall be known as the Joshua Conant Ordinance.
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved. Support?
We're all over.
Well, all over the place on that one. So, motion by Councilmember, Councilmember
Lamb.
Mosrek, was that you?
I think we all did, but Councilmember Lamb's welcome to take it.
Okay, you can take it. Okay, Councilmember Lamb moved it, and second by Councilmember Mosrek. Is there any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I asked Mr. Shouty to draft this ordinance, which he has done. I believe he has done so at the request of the family. Mr. Shouty is here to answer any questions about the ordinance. It was reviewed by the family attorney, and Mr. Fletcher has advised the family attorney had cleared the language as well. If you pass this tonight, it'll be a second reading in the following meeting. I will work with the state representative and the Senate as well to get bill text to the Legislative Bureau in Lansing to have a bill text drafted, and then work with the family to get a hearing in Lansing to get this law adopted.
Okay.
And Mr. Shouty's here for any further questions.
Okay. Anyone have any questions of Mr. Shouty? Okay. Hearing and seeing none, call the roll.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrek?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. We now have an amendment. It's called the Josh Conant Ordinance. Let's hear it again. Put your hands together. Yes. A long time coming, and just like to, and that's a mother's love for you. Didn't give up, just kept going. Would you like to do that, Sandy? Sure, come on up.
So like I said 2 weeks ago, when there is deep love, there is deep grief.
Mm-hmm.
And a mother is her son's first true love. A son is her mother's last true love. And I'm sorry, I just lost
It's
my train
okay.
of thought. But
No, that's okay. Take your time.
Mr. Pavlo came up here, and I wish he was here so I could give him sympathy for the loss of his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
But I also lost a son 24 years ago to leukemia, Josh's twin brother. So no mother should have to live through 2 deaths of her children, along with Josh's dad.
Mm-hmm.
I can live with leukemia
Mm-hmm.
after 24 years. I will never live with the way that Joshua, or be able to accept the way that my son Joshua passed on to heaven. So thank you for this.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you so much, Sandy. Okay, would any of the other family members like to say anything at this time? It's your moment. Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure that you didn't have anything, because it's, it's all in the process, the healing and moving forward, and so we just want to make sure. Okay. All right, so the ordinance carries, and now we are at the point where we have announcement. The winter decorations in Lakeside Cemetery must be removed from the cemetery plots by March 31st. Removal of remaining items will begin on April 1st. So if you don't get out there by this certain time, they will be removing your articles from around your grave sites. And then next, we have a weekly curbside yard waste pickup in containers or compost bags resume the week of April the 7th. So we can start putting our bags and our composting things out, and they will be picked up. And also, I'd like to announce that on this coming Saturday, we were invited by the city of Sarnia to have a flag waving ceremony under the Blue Water Bridge. So, and it's kind of, I know it's nothing political. We just want to recognize the flags, what we stand for, our American flag and their flag on the Canadian side. So we will have flags available, American flags and Canadian flags, and they're going to show up on their side of the river, and we're going to be on our side of the river. And so we have, coalitions out there working, getting together, getting a lot of people down there to show them that we stand up for our American flag, and we stand behind our American flag for what it represents. It represents all the people and all those people that sacrificed for our flag. So I'm hoping that those that are listening, that you join us. It's nothing long and drawn out. We just want you there just to show a solidarity among us all to come out and do that with us. So that, again, will be Saturday, March the 29th at 12 noon. And I do have a few other things here. I hope I don't put her on the spot, but Councilmember Payton and I attended a conference this past week in Lansing. And this conference is called CapCon, and it's sponsored through the Michigan Municipal League. And it's one thing about being a public official. You say, where do we come from? We all have other jobs and everything, but organizations like this help kind of prepare us and equip us to serve you better, to give us all the rules that we, go by, our charter, and, just making better leaders out of us and public officials. And so this was Mayor Payton's first time there, and I'd like to call on her and get a little snapshot of her experience the first time.
Thank you. It was rather daunting since I am a newly elected official, but I really am grateful that I went because I really got to engage with a lot of people that were very encouraging and letting me know that this takes some time to get up to speed. I did bring some notes from the conference just because it's interesting because Sherry and I were just talking about safety and public safety and checking bags as people come in. So one of the moments in the conference that really struck me the most was when former Representative Dan Kildee, who is the head of, I think, the Community Foundation in Greater Flint, and he was also speaking with Fred Upton, and they talked about how, Fred wanted to ask Representative Kildee what it was like as the mayor of Rochester Hills when they had the shooting at the splash pad. So of course that stuck with me. It was a very moving part of the conference, and public safety is so important, and especially in this day and age, and the things that are happening and the horrors that our kids are going through in schools. And so then I made sure that I attended the active shooter seminar as well. And I would like to speak with our mayor after this at some point, and with our city manager, and just about the things that we can do to implement anything to protect our community, especially our most vulnerable with the children. And I know so many parents that are so worried about even sending their kids to school. And so those two parts of the conference really impacted me, but I met many wonderful people that really gave me some great advice, so I'm glad I went.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Payton. And I too, actually I served as a moderator and I teach over there other elected officials for about a little over about 12 or 13 years. I've been teaching other elected officials to be better elected officials. And the other one that I chose is the same one. They brought to the stage Representative Kildee and Upton, a Democrat and a Republican, and that over about 400, 500 people there in that audience. They were talking like they were talking from their heart. They didn't talk as Democrats or Republicans, no Trump or nothing. It just wasn't about all that. They talked to us, because they're out of office, so they can say what they want to say now. But they had such a serene way, and the interviewer asked them what was their most critical moment as public officials. What could it be? And Representative Kildee, he said it was a moment that he was caught on January the 6th, when they didn't have nowhere to go, when all that was happening. And he made it so real for us in the audience, and people were, I don't know, weren't they? They were just stunned. We all were, and I looked, and he was saying he still is taking counseling.
For PTSD.
He's having therapy today as to what that did to him. And they both spoke with such heart that they want our country to be together. Somehow, it's just overwhelming what we're feeling. And then we got to Representative Upton, and what he said, his moment was 9/11, and he choked up. He had tears, and like I'm saying, you could hear a pin drop in that place. He just choked up. He just said he wasn't there, but he said my staff was there. And he said when that plane came through, that plane took all his staff out. And can you imagine and he has to live with that? And, and you go back and you do all that we can for you as the people that we're supposed to lead, you need real leaders that want to be leaders, independent thinkers. You want people you can trust and you feel like you belong. And that's what they kind of like, gave us going out of that session. That was the last session that we had, plenary session for that conference. But it was certainly very moving. And we get all the technical things that we need to know. And I made sure that Barb had all her Open Meetings Act, her charter stuff, and, make sure she got that so she could become, a greater asset to us here in the city of Port Huron. But it's very moving. It's just no joke when we do that. And I can remember coming home the other day, last week, when I couldn't even see the road. There was so much snow. I didn't even know where the lanes were, So when you look at us and you think it's all fun again, you're up here, and I'm not going to be bought by nobody but you, because I work for the people. It's you that makes the difference. I'll tell you in this chambers all the time, you are the power, not us. You are, and you can make a difference. You put us here, you watch us, and you observe us. You got to do that. You watch us and you observe us, and just like come around voting, if that's not what you wanted, you take us out. That's including me. But the message up there is that, we just have a strong networking group that is about the business of legislating and taking care of the people that we serve. So with that.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes.
If I could, please, just one moment. Just going back to Councilmember Payton's accusation that my appointment for this council seat was pre-planned. If it was, and it was pre-planned amongst any of the council members, I was not contacted by any council member to tell me that I had the seat. I went into that room that evening just the same as everybody else did. Matter of fact, the only call that I did have after losing the election was from Ms. Payton telling me how sorry she was that I wasn't elected, how very forward she was looking to work with me, and that I was one of the best ambassadors for this city that she's ever seen. And I saved that voicemail. no other, Mr. Pemberton, Mrs. Archibald, Mrs. Lamb, nobody else contacted me, or did I have any idea walking into that room? So I just wanted to state that for the record. Thank you.
Is there any more discussion, anything else Riley had to bring to the table?
Madam Mayor.
Yes.
In regard to the Joshua Conant law, I've been asked by people in the community, some of them are here tonight, if there's an opportunity for the community to get involved in helping getting that law passed. Republican or Democrat, the more we research this issue, this is not the first case of this incident in the state of Michigan. We can make it the last. There will be a time when the community will need to rally behind this bill to get Republicans and Democrats in both the House and the Senate to get it through committee. So first, it's getting it to a committee, getting the hearing on it at committee, getting it out of committee, and get it to the House and the Senate floor. The House is controlled by the Republicans. The Senate is controlled by the Democrats. We will begin looking for Democratic senators to sponsor the bill and Republican legislators to sponsor the bill as well in the House, so it can simultaneously move between both chambers. Getting a bill passed in Lansing is incredibly hard, and this will take probably 1 or 2 cycles to get it through. And so for those who have called and emailed me and asked, will there be a role for the community? Yes. When we do get it to a hearing, we will need as a community to rally behind the Conant family with this bill in Lansing at those hearings to show the Republicans and the Democrats that protecting innocent life is a bipartisan issue. And so we will be sharing those updates with the community of when they can be involved, because we will need robust community support from not just this community, from around the state to get this across the finish line. I have passed a few bills in the House and the Senate in my term as my 18 years of being a city manager, working to lobby bills through, and it is difficult. And so this was going to be all hands on deck effort to get this through the legislature. We don't want to tell you, passing the ordinance is relatively easy. Getting a bill passed is very difficult, but I think together we can get it done.
Yeah, I'm sure we can, and the MML, we stand behind. They can't take one side or the other, but we definitely get behind bills, and we get stronger voices in there leaning in and making sure what we want, we get. So our group will be doing that too, standing behind this, Sandy, making sure that comes to reality for you. Okay, so is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem, second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Lamb. Meeting adjourned.